imagine me now at my age still reliving.
Oh yeah.
I had.
Oh
you know
yeah.
what I mean, in high schools, like what?
Oh yeah.
That's crazy, but that's what they deal with, and I can only imagine that makes the pressure for you to either do something about it, one way or another, confronting the person, or even I hate to say it, but taking yourself out of society. The pressure is there to do something about that, so you don't have to keep reliving it.
Right.
But when does it become the norm, or when has it become so normal for us to physically want to assault one another, be it adolescents, be it teenagers, be it young adults? Like, when did that become acceptable? I understand the connotation or the contrast between picking up a gun and using your fists. I mean, if you are truly in the defense of yourself being personally harmed.
Yeah.
But the idea that, you know, this is a way of life. Like, I have to fight to prove something, or in order for me to rise in my self-efficacy to be where I needed to be, I have to attack more than one person or establish a reputation of being the bully on the corner or the baddest in the streets. Like, when does that become normalized?
That's a good point.
I feel like it's just street culture. Like, what you're talking about is simply street culture. It's the way in which that you acquire clout. It's a way in which that you acquire, like, yo, this dude is crazy or she's crazy. You may not want to mess with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like that's that. But this doesn't excuse what's transpiring now. Like, these are children. Like, they don't even have the ability to have really tried to make something out of their life. Like, if you're an adult and you're dumb as what you are at that point, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've lived, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've gotten that opportunity to make mistakes or whatever else like that. This person hasn't even had the opportunity to love their first they haven't figured out what they wanted to do. They haven't, it's like, I don't know, their dreams and everything is just kind of like snatched away. That's terrible.
I agree, but I feel like that systemic mindset that is like this street life is almost an excuse for it. It can't be a sad story only when it's a young child that's lost her life. It's a sad story when it's a young man. It's a
Indeed.
sad story when it's someone's mother, father.
Absolutely.
So I guess I won't accept the
as a caveat
that it's not. And I think that when you have that norming and acceptability, when people are not calling it out or not holding their children accountable or helping them to understand that if we want our community to be a community where people can thrive and aspire for greatness, that's not the route to go.
Absolutely. I can totally dig you on that regard, and you're right. It's unacceptable, and we've kind of gotten desensitized to allow it to think that it is some way that it is acceptable, or it's kind of, well, it's like that over there, so it's cool. But listen, guys, I think it's time for us to just send our prayers out to everyone. Make sure that you're safe as best as you can. Just take a pillow, you know what I'm saying? And right before you go to bed, just give yourself a 1-2 punch in there, just in case you got to, do a little self-defense. You'll never want to be caught off guard. You know what I'm saying? And I think if you know a little bit of something, it can definitely get you a little bit further than where you are. But unfortunately, when things kind of pop up sporadically, what can you do? So I pray that, my prayers go with the Wilson family, and I, just appreciate everyone who has attempted to kind of surround them and show some love and get the story out, specifically with Miss Wilson, Kia Wilson, because, it's the Bay Area. They're kind of known for kind of like hushing up the conversation surrounding things such as this, especially if it's someone of the opposite race. So kudos to everybody who's been able to utilize social media in a positive way to repost and reshare and to tell her father's story and to hear the heartbreak that's in his heart through just his words and his sentiment. So let's move on to some other stuff. Listen, let's talk about today, because today was a big day. Okay. Today was a big day primarily because of the fact that I think for Trev and I, we had gigs for days. Okay. All right. So we were up last night rehearsing to the wee hours of the morning, to then, having to be at Good Morning Washington. And it was an amazing experience, but it's sometimes a little taxing because, you be so excited and you're so nervous and you bringing all this anticipation up to that point. But I have to give a major shout out to everybody and the producers, particularly Kyle Ridley, the executive producer over there, who was in the clutch for us and made sure everything, worked itself out. And then also Glenn Bate, who made sure the sound was kind of together, because, a lot of people don't know that there's a mixing between television and what you actually hear. And so what you'll hear in the studio is drastically different than what you actually hear through the television. And I'm just grateful that he was here in the clutch to make sure that was straight. So in case you guys didn't get a chance to check out the interview, we're just going to play a little bit for you. And it's up now on Good Morning Washington. And it's on my page. Deanna was actually doing some behind the scenes for me, but definitely, Trev, can you let them hear a little bit? You feel me?
Yeah, and that was definitely a good look. So I appreciate you sharing your stage with me. Let the boy roll.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice experience. And yeah, shout out to all the people there in the studio. They were very hospitable and helpful.
Absolutely.
So, here we are.
All right, bet. Trev, can you play it back to the interview part? Can you roll it back there? Yeah, so I wanted to have the interview kind of talked about, because I feel like you have all these thoughts in your head, right? You have cue cards, you have thoughts of what you're going to say, and it's like, because it's such a short period of time, it's like you can't tell your whole life story in like, a minute, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to kind of just share the front part of it, just so that, people kind of understand, where the thought process came from. And I talk about my grandmother being a valedictorian of her class.
A degree in psychology and chemistry and a master's in public health. You might expect to see Sharice Jones to be wearing a white coat right now, doing some lab or paperwork.
That was clever of you. You know what?
I mean,
maybe I'd make that transition happen. I'm just wearing a little Sierra Lynn on the humble. Yeah, exactly.
You look good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, but instead, the D.C. native is following her passion. She's living her dreams. There she is right there. She's being a full-time singer-songwriter. She's gaining steam on the airwaves right now with her remix of the LMI classic, Boot Up. She joins us now in the GMW Listening Lounge for a special performance. So I have to ask you, what made you put down the books and, give up academia and pursue what you really wanted to do?
Well, I don't think I actually put down the books, but the person who made me get into the book experience was my grandmother. She was a valedictorian of her class in high school. And so I just pursued following after her passion. And so, I am secretly a geek, but so that kind of helps business-wise in terms of, maneuvering things and everything like that. But singing was something I've always wanted to do, especially when I was younger and I had the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. I couldn't really talk or sing. So
I'm like talking 18 seconds a mile, like 99 minutes.
And welcome and so that's what it is.
Nothing wrong with that. What inspired you to take the Boot Up song and remix it, put your own flair on it?
Okay, so the story goes, I was driving in my car, Betsy is what I call her. Okay. And every time I was on my way to Hampton, my car, when it seemed like it was going to stop, I kept hearing Boot Up. And I was like, wait a minute, am I supposed to get boot up? Is this, guy trying to talk to me, or what's good? And so I literally hit up my best friend, Deanna, who actually is the producer of this song, Deanna Hawkins. And I said, can we make this a DC experience and make this something that can be stamped outside of the area? And so she did that. I had Kendra Rutledge on bass, and then Face is the person my sound engineer who mixed and mastered everything. And so it's been going from Oklahoma is listening to go-go. So it's good because it's outside of the DMV.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm very proud of everything.
Yeah. Well, we have heard it during the commercial breaks. I want everyone at home to hear it right now. So take it away.
Oh, all right. Absolutely.
This is his debut right here on television.
Let's go.
So deep in my feelings. No, this ain't even like me. Can't control my anxiety. Feeling like I'm touching the ceiling. When I wish you I can't breathe. Boy, you do something to
I just wanted to hear that part where you scratch, and then I'm good. All right, thanks, Trev, for putting that out there. Yeah, so listen, guys, like that was an amazing experience. Just to get the song to the point of where it is, I have to give a shout out. I didn't have the time to give a shout out to DJ Reds, who is the DJ who broke the record that allowed it to be on the airways first. And so then there were other DJs who followed suit in that regard. But I am so very grateful for that because, it just opens the door for greater opportunity. And that's kind of like what we want to make sure we do here at IAG Radio Show, is always offering an opportunity so that it's a collaborative effort. So like prime example, if you're talking to somebody and they know that they're doing something that's dope, it should behoove you to encourage them and say, you're doing an amazing job. Or if you have an opportunity to make an impact for them or to make a connection, then why not do that? You know what I'm saying? I feel like we really have to help each other, especially in terms of the artistry component, because it is difficult. And, you know, we all need somebody. We all need somebody to lean on. You know what I'm saying? So it's best to lean on others. And it's always best when people can help you out. And so if I could bring, you know, 2 or 3 along with me, then I'm going to do that. That's my own personal mission and goal, because I've experienced so many other times where people have not done that. And I want to, the only way I feel I can make a change, here we go, Gandhi, is to be able to make sure that if I have the opportunity and somebody else is available and I think they're good at that, that they can come along. And I'm just so grateful that DJ Treb has just stepped in the clutch with me through all this process. So I'll give him a round of applause for that. And to him.
You're living up to what
thank you for the claps. Yeah, thank you for the claps. Okay.
You live up to that. You know what I mean? I appreciate
cool.
you taking me along. You grinding and definitely.
Yeah.
And living to a word person.
Oh, well, thanks. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure that I live up to the person that I want to be, you know, and that's genuine, supportive individual that can relate to others and support them while they're going through their journey. So that's that. Another thing is, here's our commercial break. If you are an independent artist and you're dope, and you know you are, or if you have a friend that's independent artist and you know they're dope, but yet they don't know about us yet, but you do. It's in your best interest to let them know about us and for us to know about them so that we can put them on our show, support them, whatever events they have going on. We are very glad to talk about our new partnership with Spark Broadcasting Network. So there's opportunities for you to to do things beyond just Facebook, Ustream, or YouTube, which is always a great way to showcase and provide yourself the opportunity to expand, you know. So you can hit us up at IAG Radio Show. Just, you know, find us at any social media platform, or just email us at iagradioshow@gmail.com. Those emails come to my phone and to Trev's phone. So we're really available and accessible. But in other news, we also did Beat the Streets today. Later on, we were on Arkansas Avenue in Northwest, and Beat the Streets is basically an initiative for the community to ensure that the police officers are connected and seen in the community, so that there's not this apprehensive circumstance when they arise, or that it's always under the intentions of negativity.
Yeah,
and I
hand clap for them, because they that's a good look.
Absolutely.
A lot of, services out there, free food, free snow cones. They had a barber out there giving out free haircuts to kids.
HIV testing.
HIV testing. Services that help with anything that a DC resident may have issue with. So that was that's a good look, and they've been doing them for I don't know how many years, but definitely this summer, almost every Wednesday.
Yeah. Every Wednesday they've been doing them around in each ward. And so we've done Ward 7, which was right in front of KIPP, which was interesting for me to go back there and be outside of AIM. And I got to see some of my old students. And then shout out to Melissa Tarver, who's a former teacher that I was teaching with while I was at AIM for a quick second. She's tuned in right now. But definitely we did Ward 7, and then today was Ward 4. And they've literally done every single location like in the city, so that every person, every demographic, as it has changed, is, you know, understood and connected to the community. And I mean, I want to talk about real quickly, not long belabored point of, they did a bomb video to the Drake In My Feelings, like, Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? You know what I'm saying? And it was really cute, but it came out at the same time as, I guess, the Micaiah Wilson situation. And they got a lot of slack for that. And they were, people were like, oh, y'all ain't doing nothing. But it's like, pause. Did the police kill Micaiah? I don't think so. Whole time. I mean, the police didn't kill her. You know what I'm saying? They are the people who are solving the crime and trying to find who actually killed her. But I feel like we shouldn't always, point the finger at police officers. Like, they are people too. They get tired too. We're talking about the outliers, the people who are just doing too much. You know, those are the ones that are legitimately out of control. They take the power and make it, you know, take advantage of it. But there's some really good police officers that are out there trying to make sure that people are taken care of, that if they need something, that they're there or what have you. So shout out to the good police officers. We know everybody
definitely.
ain't.
I know a few personally.
Absolutely.
Definitely on the case.
It's hard work. It's long hours. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot going on. So shout out to them. Beat the Streets. Mayor Muriel Bowser for endorsing that event and making sure that that was something that was funded. And all of the DC government agencies that were present is also a dope thing as well. So in terms of other things that are in the news, listen, it's time for a commercial. Trev, can you play that commercial?
Gotcha.
All right, bet.
D-City Smokehouse presents the Bloomingdale Community Barbecue this Saturday, July 28th from noon to 6 p.m. at D-City Smokehouse, 203 Florida Avenue, Northwest D.C. Featuring the wickedest band alive, Rare Essence, and performances by Miss Sharice Jones singing her hit Boot Up Go-Go remix, The Capital Kids, and a set by the Beat Refinery DJs along with DJ D-Nitty on the ones and twos. This is a free community event that you don't want to miss, sponsored by the D.C. Prevention Center Ward 5 and 6 and the Midnight Barbecue. For more info, go to DCitySmokehouse.com.
Oh, well, looky.
That's a real good look.
Won't he do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my first official, like, radio drop. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. I'm so excited to be partnering with D-City Smokehouse and the Bloomingdale community. They'll be out there on Saturday on Florida Avenue. It's free. It's for wards 4 and 5. You know, it's just something to give back to the community. And so that community engagement is imperative, and it's great that I can be a part of it. And my band will go on at 2. So rain or shine, we going out there, okay, whole time. So hopefully y'all come through for that. But let's get into some music, Trev.
Right, we got here, and I think this is appropriate for today.
All right,
it's Woman Crush Wednesday.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
oh, it's WC. Yeah. You know it is Wednesday.
Yeah, you've been killing it.
Okay, I'm
killing it all the time.
I'm a little tired.
Today's been real busy, and then we have the great Dr. Alice in the building with us.
Absolutely.
So Black Girl Magic.
Oh, I love this song.
Black Girl Magic by Nia Norwood.
Naya. Yeah, it's beautiful.
When you're lost and alone and you don't know where to go, just reach inside yourself. We are born with what it takes to be what you want to be. So use what you have already. Yeah. Let your dreams take you far. Even if they break your heart. We were meant to be stars. Keep your head held high and stay on. Girl, you know you got the black girl magic. Girl, you know you got the black girl magic. Yeah. Girl, you know you got the black girl magic. Ooh. Girl, you know you got the black girl magic. Girl, you know you got the black girl magic.
Yeah, that song is by far so beautiful, right? And I remember when I was listening to this song, I was actually at school teaching, and I was like, Lord Jesus, you're gonna have to get me through this, because Lord, with these kids, Jesus, you know what I'm saying? And that was something that definitely got me through it for sure. And shout out to Nia Norwood for, just putting such a beautiful song together and just letting it be a tribute to so many women and just affirming what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dr. Ellis, you got that black girl magic whole time. You know what I'm saying? And so it's easy to support people when they're doing great things. But I wanted to give a break to allow the people that are watching us live, specifically for their supporting their black girl that is doing things and is magical and doing that, is Dr. Ellis. People got Kathleen out here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Kathleen. Shout out to PR Ellis, which has to be your sister, something like that. That's what's up. And there's also a lot of other people that are on here, but thank you guys for tuning in for sure. Shout out to Jeff Clay, who is one of the detectives that was actually on the case, right? He's a DC detective, yes. Right, which is crazy. Thank you for tuning in, and all the work that you do is definitely appreciated. And shout out to everybody else that is here doing their thing and sitting in with us. So, Trev, what else we got to listen to? Because I'm ready to get into our interview with Dr. Ellis, but you know what I'm saying. Whole time, let's listen to some more music.
Before we do that, let's hit the ceiling with Line Babe.
All right, cool. Okay. Okay.
Every day, gotta rise from the bottom to the top. Anyway, gotta choose, make a move, hustle never stops. All night, gotta stay up. Hey, okay, and I just can't get enough. Hey, okay, going out, I'll see you around. Downtown in the scene. I'm gonna hit this ceiling. Hands up on the wall. On it. We ain't got no limit. And we don't let go. I'ma hit the ceiling. You hear me? I'ma take my spirit. I'm feeling ready for the healing. The healing. Tell me if you feel it. Here we go. What a day in our little world, out here riding with the wave. The sweet escape finds me every day at home with a heartache, all night gotta stay up. Hey, okay, and I just can't get enough. Hey, okay, going out, I'll see you around. Downtown in the scene. I'm gonna hit the ceiling. Hands up on the wall. On it. We ain't got no limit.
So that's Lion Babe. Lion Babe. They will be at the Merriweather Post Pavilion on August 4th. So they'll be there to check that out. Dope song, though. Dope song.
Absolutely. Definitely a dope song. I mean, that gave me like the Erykah Badu joint when it was like, what's the name of that song? Like, let the block is Donna.
The Danger.
Danger, right? Exactly. It gave me those danger feelings or what have you. You know, you got to be careful because when, you know, there's people that you hit the ceiling, you know, hit the ceiling and just thinking about your level of trajectory and how you're influencing others and how you stand out against the crowd and against the grain. I mean, if I could speak, you know, 3 languages fluently, you know what I'm saying, have a PhD in education, you know, have a mentoring group, have been an assistant principal, have been a principal, possibly a superintendent situation going on, you know, studied in different countries and coming back and influencing many of people. I mean, I think I would pretty much be, you know, killing the game, you know what I'm saying? Especially if I was a forward thinking educational professional with over 2 decades of experience in educational management, building relationships among a wide variety of stakeholders, you know what I'm saying? Or either just driving, you know, measurable results. I think that was make me feel like I'm doing it, you know what I'm saying? Oh, wait, somebody is that. Oh, snap. That's Dr. Letitia Ellis, y'all. Dr. Letitia Ellis, welcome to the IAG radio show.
Thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure to welcome you here. So the backstory, guys, funny situation is that we ended up working together by happenstance and didn't even, like, we were cool, but didn't even know, like, how we were going to connect until, like, recently, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, hey, girl, yes, indeed. And I was like, girl, come on over. You know, you got to come on over and talk about your, you know, all of your efforts and the things that you've done and the great things that you're going to start doing as well, especially in the new chapter of your life. And I'm just so glad to have someone of your stature on our show that is a representative of someone who can go against the grain and overcome so many different supposed obstacles that otherwise would not think is done. You know what I'm saying? So wait a minute. How many languages? So you speak 3 languages. I know one of them is Spanish. I definitely know the other one is English.
Yes. And French.
Oui.
And,
okay.
Yeah.
Oui.
Yeah, and enough Arabic to be polite when I was living in Morocco.
Oh, right. Exactly. Yeah, I know a little bit of nah. I don't know that. So I'm gonna take some
the trois, quatre.
Oh, this I'm glad you're behind. No 1, 2, 3. Man, okay.
Count his money.
Oh, we. Okay.
Right,
that's slave.
Comment allez-vous? You know what I'm saying? What does that mean? Je m'appelle. Yeah. Okay.
Your name is?
Cherie. And that's how they would probably, when I was in France, that's how they would be like, Cherie? Yeah, I just, you know.
I'm Cherie.
Cherie. Roll the R. You know what I'm saying? Whole time. But I definitely think it's dope to be that versatile. And it's probably very unassuming. How many times have people been like, is that really you? Like,
oh, well, where I live in Long Island, they all know it's me. But coming to the DMV, it's been a unique experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just being a woman of color,
coming
into a school and having young girls like try to get me to explain to them, why do we call you doctor? And what does that mean? And how do you do that?
Yes.
So that was the first explaining that I have EDD, not PhD, education.
Oh, educational. Okay, so there's a distinct difference. You know, enlighten my behind. You know what I'm saying? Whole time, you know. Please let the people know.
Yes, that's a doctorate in education, leadership, and technology. And basically, in a nutshell, being able to teach teachers how to teach, educate as a teacher, as well as lead a school or institution of higher learning. Right.
So I want you to talk about your inception in terms of the realm of education. Like, how did that, I mean, you know, when did you say, I want to be a teacher? No, get me out this classroom. I want to be in administration. I see that there is a necessity to change.
Ooh, that evolution was very causal. My first decision to be a teacher is when I arrived for my kindergarten interview.
Okay.
My mother and I were walking up to the school. Meanwhile, my kindergarten teacher was pulling up in a white Corvette.
Oh, get it, boo. I mean, what kind? She got that 401k on lock. You know what I'm saying?
She had a white linen dress, and I was in awe. I was like, this is awesome. And if I had the language, I probably would have said, this is the most glamorous profession ever.
Oh, wow.
And I was sold. So ever since then, I know what branding does.
Okay, indeed.
Like, she had me sold on a career path based on her outfit and her car.
Okay, right. That's what's up. Now, the reality of that situation was a little different, huh?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I still stuck with it, and it was always my aspiration because, again, the glamour, the flair. So I thought.
Uh-huh.
You know, and then going off to Teachers College and realizing, like, well, I did start my coursework as a senior in high school. So I was actually in a Montessori setting where I was learning that pedagogy as well as taking classes in preparation for going to Teachers College once I graduated.
Okay.
And I still was in love with working with little people, figuring out how their minds work and working with them to help them, you know, learn new concepts, new ideas.
Yeah.
And it was always it became a passion of mine.
Indeed.
You know,
okay.
That was sparked by the Corvette in a white dress.
Listen, well, I think one of the cars you need to add to the whole arrangement. You're gonna have to get you a white Corvette. You feel me? Whole time, wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? You know, have to dry that up come September. Just go out there. I know you got it, boo. Just go, make them connections so she can have her white Corvette. You know what I'm saying? Whole time, because you already got plenty of linen dresses. Because you came in fierce every daggone day. You know what I'm saying? Even when you had your J's on, I said, "Dang, all right, she's killing the game on a regular."
Well, I have to stay relative.
Oh, true. You know what I'm saying?
You can't walk in.
Looking
kids,
right.
It's Jeans and J Day,
right?
So you have to come and represent
whole time, right? Because you gotta let them know what's good. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And I definitely think you do it with such a finesse, like a mature, sweet way that's like very nurturing of letting them know, like, listen, this ain't the time you're gonna play with me. Now I need you to go in this classroom and sit on down and learn. So how did you acquire your ability to relate to students in a way that's like disciplinary but yet kind of consoling with care?
Well, my first examples were my own teachers. I was blessed to have amazing teachers during my formative years, and their nurturing spirit is a part of who I am now. And I recognize today's student crosses the threshold into the school building or the classroom with a cadre of other things on their mind besides coming to school to learn.
Right.
So my first, if you would use the term Lucy, line of defense is to make sure that they're cared for emotionally, that they're safe socially. And I think once we address those two aspects of who the student is or the scholar, then we're able to then and only then begin to instruct.
Right.
It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, making sure those basic needs.
Yes, you get a gold star.
Yes, come through with a reward experience. Yes. So, I mean, listen, I think that, a lot of teachers are burnt out, right? And why do you think they're burnt out? Because I feel like under your tutelage, I wouldn't be burnt out because I feel like you legitimately understand the importance of supporting teachers, making sure they have a mental break away from the children, knowing the importance of preparation, and ensuring that, if there's a test, that students are prepared for that they have the materials, that teachers are prepared for that. So like, why is it that I feel like that? Why would I feel like that under your tutelage? Why do you think that would be?
Well, I think that over the years, I've been able to develop and see based on experiences of what worked, what didn't work. I've had the experience of working with colleagues who required a tremendous amount of support in various ways, whether it's pedagogy, whether it's management. And I don't know, somehow I ended up being the go-to person. And
probably because of your smile, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're so non-defensive. This is like, oh, well, I'm just going to tell you my whole life story. Like, how can I really be this trifling towards somebody that's, this nice and educated? You know what I'm saying? That works.
Well, I think that my winning personality has a lot to do with it, and I think
that
people trust that I have their best interests at
Indeed.
heart. And when I'm mentoring a teacher, I know that I'm pouring into a person that has the ability to create or take life. Like when we're looking at our clients, which are our students, and we're working with them to help them to develop to be the best person that they could be.
Right.
It's important that we, as a first front line of defense, if you will, we are actually able to create a situation or a pathway for them to be successful, or we could be a hindrance. And I take that really seriously.
Okay.
So in a capacity of classroom teacher, it was always my motto that my kids were my kids.
Okay.
Like to the extent where, I mean, shout out to Team Ellis. They're like 20 and 25 years old now. But my class, it was important for them to feel like they were a part of, because a big part of my research was a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
So my students were always Team Ellis. And to the extent where some of them would sign their last name and the very last name would be Ellis. And they understood that we were a family, that we were a team, and I applied that concept for them to be able to learn, grow, and support one another.
Yeah, so just looking at your abstract in terms of your conclusion, I mean, like this data seems to be kind of like common sense, right?
You would think, but you
common
have to
sense,
have
but
some heavy hitters behind you in order for others to be able to believe it, like to create that new knowledge. You can't just shoot from the hip and say, hey, for a long time, I knew that something was different that was happening for my males, and particularly my brown males in my classroom. Right. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but their non-subscription to subscribing to meritocracy, not wanting to be perceived as being smart for a fear of acting Caucasian. Right. And I'm like, where's this coming from? Like,
the same trifling peers that think it's okay to shoot up a neighborhood of people to just do it. I mean, it's always that intimidation of like, you desire to be viewed as cool, you know what I'm saying? And so unfortunately that's the case, but your study found that the commitment to cultural competency, high academic expectations with support, affirmation, celebration of the individual strengths contributed to the academic success of these students. So in short, basically it's saying if you pour into them, if you believe in them, then they will in turn believe in you and think that you're going to stay there, right? So it's that idea of not having high turnover, that you're not going to be another person that dies off or doesn't care about them, and shows that they're of worth and of, importance, right? And so by that then carries them along to success.
It does. And when, the research shows, which was research coined after 9/11, that any given scholar or student only needs one adult to believe in him or her to help achieve a desired goal of success. And the irony is that resilience is so strong when they're young. You or I need 8 people to help us.
Oh, clearly. We need a whole village. You know what I'm saying? Whole time.
We use that term loosely. Like, it definitely takes a village. Don't misinterpret. But when it comes to a coach saying, hey, you can make that winning shot. When it comes to a mentor or counselor saying, hey, you can do better. This is not your best aptitude. You can really show up and show out in your classroom.
Absolutely.
It matters. And a child only needs one person that believes in them, and it could be anyone. And for years, there was a lot of research that coined saying, oh, if only parents were involved, and that's true. You need a partnership with parents. Don't misinterpret. But it could be the lunch monitor that's, putting the mashed potatoes on the tray, saying,
here go this extra apple. You better eat this.
Yes, because I need you to be focused in class. It could be the paraprofessional classroom that's making sure that if you didn't get breakfast that morning, slide you to granola bar in the morning.
Right.
It could be anyone that's helping you to be successful.
Indeed. I mean, you have taken on all of those roles. I mean, you've been a coach of a plethora of sports, right? So what is it? Basketball,
varsity girls basketball, cheerleading, covertly summer league for the male team because Coach Johnson couldn't coach them.
Oh, okay. True.
Although they don't like my practices.
Okay. You look like you that smile but kill you softly kind of person. Like, do these squats, you know what I'm saying? Run these suicides.
They're called gauntlets now. Gauntlet.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, the operational definition of still I'm gonna kill you and you're gonna be in pain for about 5 days, you know what I'm saying?
But we're gonna win.
Oh, whole time. Okay, absolutely.
Yeah. And I also had a regional step team with my great friend and colleague Kim Ellison. She and I had a middle school step team, and we were proud to say that we were number 1 in the East Coast in accuracy and precision.
Hey, get it. Okay, let me find out. I did this joint
We'll work on that.
At church, you know what I'm saying? I was part of step team at church. I'm a little rusty right now, but don't hurt my feelings though. You know what I'm saying? Well, y'all, let's take a time to give us some more music because we got to digest all this awesomeness that's coming through from Dr. Ellis. So, Trev, what's some music we can listen to real quickly?
We got Amber Olivier with Can't Trust.
Can't Trust. Oh.
will stay. I can't love you no more. Can't love a man I can't trust. Can't love a man I can't trust. Can't love a man I can't trust. So typical that I was ready to call you mine, but my instinct was right. You're just wasting my time. Now I'm feeling kinda different about you lately. Seems you never felt to tell me that I'm crazy. Hope you know that you're to blame. You're responsible. You're the reason that I'm leaving. Can't love you no more, no more. I don't love a man, can't love a man I can't trust. I don't love a man, can't love a man I can't trust. I don't love a man, can't love a man I can't trust. I don't love a man, can't love a man I can't trust. I don't love a man, can't love a man I can't trust. I don't love a man, can't love a man I can't trust. I don't love a man, can't love a man I can't trust.
Giving me some Aaliyah experience, you know.
It's Timberland. It's that beat.
Oh, okay.
That's that Timberland kind of beat right there.
Yeah, like that's exactly what I'm feeling like. That, you know, can trust type of experience. So when you are thinking about a teacher and like, what is the biggest thing that you notice as a assistant principal, and all your administrative leadership roles that is imperative that teachers have so that they can actually trust leadership?
I think that when they have honest and open dialogue. When we're dealing in education and we're dealing from a position of your supervisor and I don't like to use the word subordinate, but for lack of a better term, the person that you are working with, you want to pour into them, and you want to coach them, and you want to do so in a way that's non-threatening. Mm-hmm. And I think the tide of education over the last few years has turned that trust into I gotcha, or you're not doing a good job. And most feedback that teachers receive is actually done from a deficit model.
Yeah.
It's never, it's rarely. Now, I've worked with some great leaders who actually take that opportunity to help grow and nurture.
Indeed.
But few and far between are those leaders in the school system now, because they're under scrutiny, which inevitably places them in a position of defense, which inevitably places them in a position to be able to account for. And in that accountability comes blame.
Okay, indeed. There's always someone that has to point the finger at. There has to be a fall guy or girl somewhere, right?
And that is definitely a new zeitgeist over the last 10 to 15 years.
Right.
Starting with No Child Left Behind and who's going to be held responsible, who's going to be held accountable. And I remember my colleagues and I used to joke, like, no, we need no mother or father to be left behind.
Clearly. How about that? Because in my short little tenure of being in the classroom, I noticed that it's like, these parents need to be accountable for their kids. Like, stop dropping your kids off and thinking that the teacher can do everything in the world to save them. But then when it's time to do something about eradicating that behavior, it's a problem. Like, it's that double standard. And I feel like parents have to show up. And I'm grateful for when there's a parent teacher night and parents actually show up. Cause I'm like, oh, wow, you value your child. Or, cause it requires engagement. Like, it has to be a twofold experience. Like, it has to be doublefold. Cause I know strategy in terms of classroom management is the idea of, I'm going to call you. Listen, you keep playing with me. I'm about to call your mom right now. I'm putting them on speakerphone. Keep on playing with me.
They tell you now, call them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, whole time. Go. I mean, you can call phone disconnect anyway.
They already know the answer. But I think that, what you're saying is true. And as a researcher, I don't like to overgeneralize. I think that different striations of the community are in different positions. When you have parents that are in survival mode, they really don't have the time. And you would think oh my God, this is your responsibility. And it's easy to pass judgment. Mm-hmm. But Dr. Rita Pierson put it well, may she rest in peace, where she talked about when you have parents that are in a desperate situation. And when I say desperate, where, preventative dental is not a reality. You know, your child's not going to the dentist until he or she has a real issue.
Right.
But that child is sitting in one of our classrooms and trying to learn, but who can learn with a toothache?
Right.
So, you know, schools have put different models in place where you have the visiting dentist. So some of those issues can be combated. And then you have your helicopter parents that are always there, that are always present, and thank God for them too.
Right.
You
Okay.
know, we want to be able to have a community of teachers, educators, and leaders with the cultural competency to recognize the difference.
Okay.
You want to be able to recognize when the parent is absent because he or she is in survival mode working 2 jobs. You don't want to pass judgment without knowing that. So you want to make sure that you know your parent body. So parent engagement, as far as parents as partners, is important. I need to know as a classroom teacher and as a leader if little Joey's mother is working 2 jobs, if he has to have 2 sets of textbooks because he's at dad's house Monday, Wednesday, Friday, if there's custody shared. And that's the footwork that we have to do as educators to be able to make sure that child's going to cross that threshold coming in with whatever they're dealing with. We need to be ready and prepared to be able to curtail and support them in whatever their situation is.
Yeah, I think that's totally dope. And I think if we had the opportunity to do that on a continual basis, it would make it easier for, I think, not only for the teachers that they don't get burned out, right? But if there was those wraparound services were readily available and cost effective for majority of our schools. And I mean, public charter schools most certainly have a model by which they try to have that level of wraparound services. And I know in public schools, they have other services that are readily available. I mean, I came from that background of Montessori as well and private school. And it was like, it's just a different experience. You know what I'm saying? Like if I came home with bad grades, that was going to be that was a problem. You know what I'm saying?
It's a different day. Like I was a latchkey kid in the 3rd grade. So coming home from school by myself, my parents didn't get home until 6:30. And the expectation was you go to school to learn, you pay attention. When you come home, you do your homework. And it has to be correct because when they come home, they're tired.
Right.
They're not going to be able to have the time to check. I read to myself because they were tired getting ready for the next day or preparing my dinner or trying to get me ready for the next day. So I guess in my mind, I think about what I needed as a child.
Right.
And that's the model in which that I follow. And
right.
I actually, I got some flack at one point in my career about having a no homework policy. And by no homework, I don't mean that kids shouldn't go home and review what they were taught that day for 15 to 20 minutes or read for half an hour, 45 minutes. But the proverbial, like, the teacher didn't get to finish the lesson, so take this home and finish it.
Okay.
And I actually had to stand up for that because there's no research that shows that
homework is actually, it propels you.
Right.
Okay.
There is none. So, practicing, though, a concept that you were actually taught and that you mastered.
Okay.
To gain further mastery is a real thing. But
right.
just nebulous assignments.
Just to say we out here, we give out homework. Yeah.
Because, sometimes language that's laying around helps parents to be comfortable from a generation in which they used to go to school.
Okay.
And that's not necessarily the case now. We live in a flat world where kids have access to everything.
Yeah, I mean, like the Chromebooks, I mean, the kids know how to access stuff better than, us. I mean, I know, Treb, your kids probably teach you stuff.
All the time.
Uh-huh.
The ways in which they address mathematical concepts. I tell my parents all the time, show them how you did it old school.
Okay.
As they arrive at the right answer.
We good.
When they get to school tomorrow, I'm going to show them.
We good on that.
And if they have to show their work for whatever assessment, then we're going to deal with that then.
Yeah.
I want the child to feel successful, and I want the parent to feel empowered.
I'm
Absolutely.
ready to take it to the next level because they always told me what if we couldn't use our calculators?
Oh, yes.
Well, I haven't had that day yet.
Yo, behind, listen, man, whole time. But Dr. Ellis, I want you to give some. It's about to be. It's PD is happening right now.
Oh yeah.
Okay, these and teachers need some encouragement because it's I didn't know how difficult teaching was until I did it. Like, I'm an adjunct professor, that's a totally different circumstance. Like, that ain't nothing. They there because they want to learn. Right. Whereas you're teaching middle school or high school, they there because they have to be there. And there's all that experience. You gotta be with the kids when they eat, and it's just so much. Teach them more. You gotta look at what. How can a teacher survive this? What you got any tips? Because teacher burnout is real.
Teacher burnout is real, and teacher turnover is real. I think that you need to surround yourself with like-minded people, positive people, and that's something that I've always been blessed with. Amazing colleagues. Shout out to Denise Silva Dennis, who we check on each other. We're there for each other, and if there's something that I can help her get done in advance. And I mean, preparation is everything.
Okay.
As you know, we cannot walk into any instructional, from a leadership perspective, from a classroom perspective, you cannot wing it. One, children have this innate ability to be able to determine whether they're safe or not.
Okay.
Consistency and clarity rules.
Yeah.
And they keep score. So
Yeah.
if they show up one day and your copies are not ready or you're not prepared, they will write you off for the rest of the semester, sometimes the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So preparation is key. And also,
Yeah, gladly I didn't get written off. You know what I'm saying?
you
Whole
didn't.
time.
But that's because I was there early to make the copies for you.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
But it's also important, as educators, it's not for the faint of heart. I joke with my friends and, shout out to my pastor, Reverend Faison, no disrespect, but I feel like being a classroom teacher or in education is like a calling, like the priesthood. It's not for everyone.
Oh, it's sure as hell.
I was dying and
It's
sort
not. It's
Just
not. I mean, I know some people look at it like, oh, they have summers off. I don't know about anybody.
That ain't that's deserved. Listen, because like
you gotta reboot.
Depression is real. Like if you want your child to be on, right? You want your child to be on the news for slapping. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, it's a lot.
No, it is a lot, and it's a lot of preparation. And I think that
every day,
great institutions pour into their teachers everything that they need, and you can't do it all at once. And I think when you take the time to pull back the layers of what's unique to your organization, then you can meet the needs of your organization and your clients being the student. So often institutions get caught up in what the board thinks, what the higher ups think, and it's really about what the kids need. And when you have honed your craft to an extent in which you're the expert, then you're the expert.
Right.
And the first time I experienced that sense of expertise was when I was in Beijing, China. I took a group of students there with some colleagues for an exchange, and just a level of respect for me as an educator. I didn't have a doctorate. I think I had one master's at the time, so I had nothing to do with
just
credentials.
one. Darn. How terrible.
Had nothing to do with credentials, but everything to do with the level of respect for the profession. And I feel like I will always be a teacher, regardless of, despite any title. It's the only profession that's highly critiqued by everyone who just went to school. And I would love to walk into my dentist's office and say, you know what, pass me that film.
Right, I got this, boo. You ain't doing this right. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a highly scrutinized profession, and I think that it's systemic because it was traditionally a women's profession. And I think
interesting.
That, and that's just my take on it.
Look at that correlation. That's probably something that's very systemic in the sense of that.
And we know that there's value to students seeing themselves, the image of themselves within their instructors, their teachers, their coaches, their mentors. And we see a lot more schools making that effort. Like I know right now in New York City schools, they're paying for education degrees for men of color and men in general.
Yeah, I mean, they were told that,
to be in the classroom because it's important for young men
to see themselves, right? And it's just like, how many African American males did I have as professors or teachers?
I had one music teacher, and he also played the piano at my church.
Right. So not
many.
I can't really. I'm a little flabbergasted at this point because honestly, I can't think of any black male that was actually my instructor. I'm lying.
I've seen more in the private sector.
My Latin teacher was black.
Well, my French teacher was also a brown gentleman, but he was Haitian.
Okay. Yeah, he ended up being a priest. I guess he said, I'm going to have to talk to you, Jesus, because I can't take this no more.
He was already close because he was a teacher.
Okay.
It's a calling.
Yeah, there we go. Because obviously everybody ain't called, you know what I'm saying? You're going to figure that out real soon.
Some folks think they're called and they're not.
Oh, they're not called, you know what I'm saying? But, hey, classroom management, I kind of got that on lock. Sit your... Okay. I'm going to see you outside the whole time.
Classroom management is a huge piece of it, but I also think the ability to be able to reach students where they are when they come to you.
Okay.
Because, they're children. They come from a cadre of different experiences, households where reading is a priority or it may not be, where education is a priority or it may not be for various reasons.
Right.
And we know that, students that feel empowered and a part of and supported, they will do anything. Like,
right.
You can be the Pied Piper, but if you don't have the parameters set up and the safety as far as them being safe emotionally, safe socially, then you're confronted with another set of issues which have nothing to do with education or book learning.
Nah, that's the whole nother circumstance. That's why we need them special education teachers to get them certifications in there. You know what I'm saying? We need some psychologists. We need the social workers that are in place and available. Shout
out to all the paraprofessionals that bring their tools to help support all of our scholars and all of the endeavors that they bring forward.
Indeed, absolutely. Tread, were you trying to say something about preparation or, concern about that teacherization thing?
No, I was curious to your opinion on like how many teachers are you coming across that actually always wanted to be there? Like you expressed an interest from a very young age, and the teachers that I know that I figure were labeled sort of good. You could tell that that's what they were in. That's what they wanted to do. They were.
That's their passion. Yeah,
that's their passion. They're interested in the subject. They make a seemingly boring subject interesting because they're passionate about it.
I think
and they like working with kids and so forth.
Passion goes a long way, and interests and value. And I think that when people join the profession for reasons other than wanting to really serve our clients and build the self-efficacy of students and build their repertoire of knowledge, they find themselves miserable.
They burn out.
Because
they burned out.
You can't fake it. You really
can't
fake it.
You can't fake that joint.
There's a reason I walk into school every day smiling because I love what I do.
Right. But you also good at it, too. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Well, who's not smiling when they're great at what they do? You know what I mean? Like, think about it. If you had to continually, I tell parents all the time, like, oh, my child doesn't want to come to school. They think Mr. So-and-so is hard. And they don't think that they want them, to be in the classroom where they don't value them as a person. I said, well, I need you to take into consideration the feelings of your child. Because getting up and going to a school where you don't have people that believe in you or want to support you or do the things that are necessary to help you be successful, that's like getting up and going to a job you loathe every day.
Well, that's what the majority of people do anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Can you imagine like going to a job every single for 180
right? It ain't imaginable. It's reality. Okay, whole time.
Not talking about my current job. Anybody watching?
Disclaimer, please.
Where I am
dot
right
disclaimer.
Thank you. But I don't have to imagine
86 days that you are not. You don't feel welcome. You don't feel a part of, and that's something to be recognized. And I think that. Nowadays I remember, when I went to school, it's like you go to school and you respect all the adults that are there. And now that tide has changed. Students want to feel respected. And
right. They don't respect me.
Teachers sometimes like, oh my God, no, they have to. And I'm thinking, no, see, the way in which society has shifted and we've lost that striation of great grandmothers and we have that age of the grandmother becoming younger and we have, households that are not the traditional household.
Right.
It doesn't matter what that looks like.
Right.
There's a cadre of reasons why students need more support. So you have to be willing to put in the work.
Yeah, I feel you. But I mean, in terms of me, just our off the line conversation in terms of like teachers coming in at a young age, just trying to get through. And then they realize, let me get these loans paid off. I can't do this no more. This ain't really what I ain't about this life.
I'm not cut for this cloth.
Nah.
Yeah, I think that happens in any profession. I know people that have become lawyers and like, what, I just can't handle this. I want to go and do something, in a civil aspect.
Indeed.
But not this. And I think that happens as well. I think that your first year, whether or not you cut out. And you
I think the first week. First week.
Get through that first year. That first year whether it's something that you can continue to do and this is a career path or this is a stepping stone.
Okay.
Or a stumbling block. Trying to figure out what it is that you
or an opportunity to meet somebody who's dope. You know what I'm saying?
True. And move on to, different things.
And then you just become good friends outside of that. You know what I'm saying? You just be like,
I hear the plug.
Whole time. It's a plug for sure. I mean, but I think it's great. I want people to be able to follow you. So by all means necessary, you all go to her Instagram page if you are above the age of 18.
Yeah, my students are not allowed to be my Instagram friends.
Right. I mean, I understood that. Like, I was like, oh man, but I totally respect it. But definitely go to her Instagram. The Instagram again is
Dr._Team Ellis.
Yeah, I mean Team Ellis, because there's a whole team logged in right here. You know what I'm saying? The whole Ellis community and extension is in here, locked and ready. Absolutely. Long Island is in the building. Arizona's in the building. Like the Hamptons are in the building. Like, listen, what's good? I'm coming over for the family reunion. Just to let y'all know if y'all ain't already.
Positive impact on some people. That's clear.
Clearly, absolutely. I mean, if you have somebody that this can walk in what they're talking about and actually believe it to be true, then it makes it easier. Because I think a lot of people have a tendency in leadership to talk this, but then not able to execute or ensure that it's actually there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen that in so many instances, and especially in the school system. You know, it's like,
not a very successful situation, that's for sure. But you have to be honest and true to yourself. Whatever your gifts, strengths, and talents are, you have to bring them to the table. And not everyone has every gift and every strength and every talent. And a great teacher and a great leader will surround themselves with those that make up for that, that have those tools.
Indeed.
So that you can actually work together. And that's the true definition of collaboration.
Right.
And when you're able to build each other up, and when you walk in and you know if you're lacking in cultural competency, then you need to seek out the courses and the professional developments and the colleagues that help you broaden your horizons. You don't stay in a vat.
Exactly.
You have to grow and evolve.
You got to stretch yourself as you're expecting the students to stretch as well. And I totally respect and get that for sure. And you know, teaching is hard. It's a very hard field. I think I didn't understand how difficult teaching was until, you know, I was teaching like every single day. And it's very taxing. Like it's especially if you have an extended school day or what have you. But what's interesting is like majority of my students, I rock with them now. Like I legitimately love the students. Like I know my gift is connecting with young people. I'm like the fake baby whisperer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that's just the love that I know that I have. That's where my take is. But I appreciate people who are great leaders and I can follow in their leadership skills. And I mean, you are one of that for sure. So you guys need to make sure that you follow Dr. Letitia Ellis, because she is going places beyond what is just what you see meets the eye. And we're just so glad that she was able to stop on by just for a little bit to give some of her beautiful thoughts, intelligence, and share with the world to hear. And, you know, we thank you for that. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Yes, come on in the clutch with the clap. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long day, but we're just so glad. So let's get into some music to transition out of that sixth grade. Why don't okay, are we gonna do Heartstrong? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, let's go there.
All right. So young people, this is a soft debut of my new, I'm gonna put hit single. I'm gonna claim that claim it in advance. Oh,
ladies and gentlemen. This is a world premiere.
Oh my God. So this song here is called Heartstrong, and I'll take the time to talk about the song. So most people don't know, but I have hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is an enlarged heart. So I was diagnosed when I was a wing on the girls basketball team, sixth grade. I was killing the game. Like I still can, like, you know, make people stumble a little bit. Don't get it twisted. You feel me? Whole time. You know what I'm saying? But so I have an enlarged heart, and so like I changed it as I had a prognosis that I could drop dead at any moment. And so like I remember what it felt like to hear that. I was at NIH and I was like, oh man, this probably sounds not the greatest. You know what I'm saying? And I had always strived for excellence in terms of like going against the grain. So if somebody tells me no, it's been probably in my purview to kind of prove them wrong. Like to say, oh, you gonna say no, not today. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna figure out how to circumvent that situation. And the idea is that, you know, my heart has to be strong in order to pump so much blood to the, you know, rest of my body. And it takes more effort for, you know, my heart to pump. And I get tired very easily, but I don't give up. Like I just keep moving. I keep it focused. And I've realized, like, in relationships, we're always mind strong. You know what I'm saying? We already know what's good. Like we not going to deal with this today. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of this nonsense. But then our heart shows up and we be like, okay, well, just come on back in just for a little bit. You know, we done all made some interesting decisions and been in relationships that just required us to grow mentally, physically, and emotionally. And sometimes, you know, you have to be able to know when you need to build your heart up to say, I can't allow you to hurt it anymore. So this was a play on introducing kind of like my own experience, because a lot of people feel like, oh, well, you have a heart condition, you're gonna drop dead on I guess on stage. Well, obviously I ain't dropped dead yet. You know what I'm saying? So what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And people are surprised because I have so much energy, but you know, it's going against the grain, not allowing anything to stop you from your dreams and pursuing that. And I'm not ashamed to admit, you know, what my diagnosis is, but I know there's a God. And so he's the person who has my prognosis. So I'm just going to keep it moving. But in terms of relationships, we all need to be strong because, you know, listen, we done been through some things. Okay. So y'all, this is Heartstrong. I'm secretly, softly, as Treb has asked me to release it on tonight. This song is featuring You Should Assad, and you'll be hearing on the radio soon. There we go.
Yeah. Harsh. Here we go.
Somebody's knocking at the door. Nobody's home. Looking through the peephole, but love don't live here anymore. They'll never do it again. We just gon' be friends, yeah. Then I let you back in, and that's where it all began. I gave you my heart, I gave you my time, and all the things you promised to me turned out to be all your lies. And then my heart stopped, and the walls blocked it, and it skipped a beat, and now we're on repeat, yeah, yeah.
Sharice, for real, it's just me and you. You know that.
You said this time things would change, but they still just stay the same. It's you, it's me who's the blame, yeah. You just keep on holding on, round in circles going on. Lift the needle off the song, off the song, off the song. I gave you a lot, I gave all I got, and it wasn't enough. I gave you my time, I tried to compromise, it's still not enough. When it gets rough, oh, should I stay or should I go? Yeah, should I roll up my sleeves, pack up my bags and leave? I gave you my heart, I gave you my time, and all the things you promised to me turned out to be all your lies. And then my heart stopped, and the walls blocked it, and it skipped a beat, and now we're on repeat, yeah, yeah. You said this time things would change, but they still just stay the same. It's you, it's me who's the blame. They just keep on holding on, round in circles going on. Lift the needle off the song,
Real talk, If you don't know where you're going, then you keep looking back. But with energy, you attract what you keep looking at. They say love is a drug, it's addictive as crack. And seeing me on timelines got you finna relax. But I don't trip. I laugh when you block me on the gram. I hit you on your birthday, cuz that's who I am. You sent the reef text telling me I'm dead to you. But stay like in my picture, so I'm never dead to you. You be back and forth like a swing with a kid on it. Scared, so you shake up the bottle, then leave the lid on it. I be sincere to get that old thing back and make it pop, but you scared, so the whole thing's flat. You be thinking that I'm constantly telling you lies, but you will see the truth if you look in my eyes, girl. I just stopped at Wendy's and bought us some fries and a Frosty. We can dip it, just let me inside.
You said this time things would change, but they still just stay the
But right now, you know I'm focused.
same. It's me who's the
But I promise you I got something planned for us, not just for me, but for us.
just keep on holding
Just stay here with me.
on, round in circles
I'ma hold you down, you hold me down. I promise everything gon' be okay.
the song, the song. You said this time things would change, but they still just stay the same. It's you, it's me who's the blame. They just keep on holding on, round in circles going on. The needle off the song, off the song. 'Cause my heart's strong, it keeps holding on and on and on and on and on. 'Cause my heart's strong, it keeps going on and on and on and on. 'Cause my heart is strong, it keeps holding on and on.
Yeah. Oh, yay. Woo, woo, woo. There we go.
Yeah, that joint's hot.
Oh, before we just go put it out. Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's another one produced by Deanna Hawkins, written by Nicole Addison Jones and myself. You know, I just
really be coming through.
She's on the Collection Experience. Exactly. Yeah, definitely. She's a dope producer, arranger, and piano player. You know what I'm saying? She studied at Duke Ellington, also graduate from Howard University, with a degree in business, music management, and some other stuff that I don't even understand and know. But it's dope, and so I appreciate her being my best friend and being my producer at the same time. So that kind of works really well. But shout out to everybody who tuned in on tonight. We appreciate you. Team Ellis was in the building whole time, tough and strong. We need Team Ellis to follow us all the time. You know what I'm saying? Just come on back every Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Clearly. And so listen, guys, there's a lot of things that's going on this weekend. In particular, Beyonce will be in town on Friday, the On the Run tour. And oh yes, and Jay, keep it heart strong. Yeah, absolutely. Keep the team there. A couple of my friends from high school who are dancing with Beyonce will be in town, and I know this is probably a dope feeling for them to be at their home spot, and all the love and support they'll be there. Another thing is, I just met this gentleman this morning on Good Morning Washington. He has a play called Can a Woman Raise a Man? It'll be at the Lincoln Theater. And it'll be I just think the title in of itself is dope, that you should just show up for that, you know what I'm saying, and share some love and support there. And then also Friday I have my interview with DJ Reds on Downtown Locker Room. DJ Reds, again, is the DJ who broke the record on WPGC 95.5 and real in Philly. Cool, humble dude. Absolutely, like real cool. I just love his aura in the sense of being willing to aid and help and say what he, do what he's actually going to say and do what he says he's going to do. I know that sounds like it should be simple, but somehow people just fall short of that. And indeed, just being a person of your word. There we go. Thank you very much. Okay. And I appreciate him for all that. And then Saturday is Groovicize / our Boot Up Fit. So Dr. Ellis, if you chilling on Saturday, if you're not busy, you should come out to Boot Up Fit. So that's when we, exercise out to boot up. You know what I'm saying?
Got it. Send me the location.
Okay, I got you. Send me your location. So definitely Boot Up Fit is happening. DJ Trev will be spinning on the ones and twos. Prayerfully, I'll have a bottle of water and a fan. Mike Hubbard will be the actual fitness instructor. He started doing videos to my song and posting them, and I was like, dog, this is intense, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, I would love to do a class, with you around the song. And I'm like, all right, well, let's call it Boot Up Fit, you know what I'm saying? Because you can be boot up and you can get fit at the same time, you know what I'm saying? So why not put it together, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think you're going to that class chilling out or
nah,
way about it.
Nah, bring a scrunchie.
He's
like, I'm gonna be like that, like, I'm gonna need a paramedic on site. We're gonna have to some disclosures. We're gonna have to sign some waiver forms while we're doing that Boot Up Fit experience. But I think it'll be a dope experience. Tickets are only $15 in advance. You can go to my website and check it out, ShariceJones.com, or just find on Instagram or what have you. The link is there. And at the door it's just $20, and it's at Bishop McNamara on this Saturday from 11 until 12:30. But I'll be leaving at 12 because I have a gig at the Bloomingdale Community Center, and my band starts at 2:00. So I'll be just transitioning on. I'll just put that one church finger on up and move on out. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely am excited for that because it's new and innovative and it's fun. And so if you guys have things that are going on, I know that the Craft Fest that Patrick is hosting from his company is happening August 5th. We'll post it so that you guys can make sure that you can have all your eat crabs that you want, and we'll kind of go from there. And I know Treb is looking for that because that's his bruh. There it is. What is it, Treb?
Hold on, I can't read. I can't see.
Oh Lord Jesus!
It's August 5th. August 5th.
August 5th.
August 5th.
All right, one for all you can eat crabs. Tickets are on sale now. Adults are $60. Children are $35. You can just go to PatrickMichaelCompany.com, and it's cater buffet. It's from 3 to 4:30, and the Crab Fest feast is from 4:30 to 6:30. So go to church, get your nap in, and then come on out and get your crab experience taken care of. You know what I'm saying? We always here to support you in that regard because crab.
That serious menu just besides
right
crab.
It's like collard greens. I mean, it's like they got beans, greens, potatoes. You know what I'm saying?
Basically.
Yeah, they got that whole spiel right out there. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be worth your while. No, and listen, I also want to give a shout out to Dr. Ellis. I think you should start doing like symposiums and talking about the importance of teaching and how you can strive for excellence. I'm just gonna put that in your spirit, so that's a speaking engagement that you start having, so that teachers can start coming to you. Because I just think you're such a positive force, and that you've experienced it. Because I think sometimes administrators have not experienced what it feels like to really be in the classroom anymore, and so they tell you all this top down knowledge, but it's not effective because they don't really know how to manage it. And teachers need someone they can listen to.
You need to be able to be applicable.
Indeed.
Speak from real experience. And I mean, I moved from being a one-on-one paraprofessional for a student with cerebral palsy.
Okay.
Then I was a permanent sub at my high school alma mater. Shout out to the Killer Bees, Bridgehampton.
Okay, Killer Bees. We see you.
And then I moved on from there to a private progressive school. And then I went to public for 12 years. And then I made my way down here.
Indeed. And you just moving on up on the humble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we just proud of you. But I definitely think your story is something that can be admired and appreciated by up and coming teachers, and even teachers who've been in the game for a while, and they're trying to figure out, because I feel like we need the old school teachers to stay a little bit longer instead of being pushed out into the retirement experience.
We need that experience and wisdom. And
that classroom management.
Yes. And then that new, technological wave comes in, and you need a meeting of both minds in order to create a great learning environment.
Indeed. Well, if you need to be like Dr. Ellis, after an amazing day, you need to wind down. Make sure you come out on next Monday at the Wicked Bloom, where you can wind down with me and be booed up. And they got all types of little drink specials and stuff. Dr. Ellis, I'm about to have you out before you have to be in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? Be in the office teaching, making sure your teachers know what's good this year. So hold tight, y'all. But thank you for everybody who tuned in. We appreciate you. Go follow us at IAG Radio Show. We love you. And as we always say, IAG, baby. We rolling out to what?
No problems.
We doing no problems? Let's do boot up. I feel like I messed up this. I feel like I got to recover from earlier today. There we go. That's good energy right there. Yeah.
Feelings so deep in your feelings. Love is painting right me. Can't control